We are back on Morning Line, our final segment this morning with Barbara McGinnis. She's with Takis McGinnis Elder Care Law. We're going to have your number up for your law firm coming up at the end of the show there in Hendersonville. And I'm getting a lot of calls. Some of these have been lengthy, but they've been good questions.
Yeah.
I mean, these are like situations
very
people deal with.
teachable moments for others.
Hopefully, you know, you're helping them out. Let's go to Lucy. Hi, Lucy.
Hey, y'all.
Hey, what's on your mind?
Well, I want to move quick here because I know you're short on time.
That's all right.
I want to make a comment with, you know, no response needed, and just a little town crier type of comment. And then I wanted to ask the attorney there about some changes in state law here in Tennessee regarding seniors and senior care. But the first comment I want to make, I've been following this for 15 years when they went through some state legislatures in the United States and changed this law. And Obamacare, the Affordable Care Act, the Health Care Reform Act, whatever you want to call it, it fell under this. It protected the consumer. And this is what it is, that they had changed the state laws in all 50 states by 2003 that if you had any equity in your home and you owed a hospital bill, they could sue you to force you to sell that home to recover that equity if you did not have, you know, any other means to pay your hospital bill. And now that we're looking at a consolidation more and more here in Tennessee of closing hospitals and basically a hospital monopoly of strange sorts starting when they announced on NPR last week that they have moved the Department of Justice, I think it is, to completely do away with the Affordable Care Act, citing it unconstitutional because the individual mandate is no longer required. And when the Affordable Care Act goes away, you will no longer have the protection that was put into place under that, where they cannot force you to sell your home for the equity to pay a hospital bill. So I want people to think about that and get their estate plans ready. Now, my other question for Ms. McGinnis there is, I think it was last year or this year, they had passed a law here in the state legislature about nursing homes and how difficult it is now to report abuse and sue for abuse of your loved one. Are you familiar with what I'm talking about?
For abuse of loved ones in nursing homes. Is it more difficult? We've done stories on abuse. I don't know how the laws have changed. Jennifer Krause would be able to answer that question here.
No, I don't. I'm not aware of any law that's been changed that makes it more difficult, except for there has been a good bit in the news about arbitration clauses when you're entering into a long-term care facility, that your admission contract probably has an arbitration clause in there. And of course it cannot be a condition upon admission, but it's usually there and you're usually asked to sign that. And when you sign an arbitration clause, you are basically waiving your right to a trial by jury. Okay. So you're saying, yes, if there is something that happens in this facility, we'll go to mediation as opposed to a trial by jury.
Okay. All right.
So I don't know, maybe if that's what she's talking about, but not any particular law that says it's more difficult to sue for abuse.
Before even lawsuits come, do most nursing homes and assisted living facilities have an ombudsman?
Absolutely.
And explain to folks what that is, where if there is an issue between the two, how the ombudsman and what the ombudsman does.
Well, obviously you've got a vulnerable adult in the facility and somebody that you love, and that things sometimes go wrong. You know, there are events, and the first way of resolving that, obviously, I believe in trying to have clear, honest conversations with the administration on hand. I think of it as a chain. So if you start with local, the facility directors, the facility administration, then perhaps you contact the, and if it's not resolved, then contact your ombudsman. Now the name and phone number for the ombudsman is going to be posted inside the nursing facility. It's going to be readily available. An ombudsman is a person that is a neutral party, really. They are educated, knowledgeable. They're an advocate for the resident.
Are they with the state? Who do they work for?
They actually work for the state.
Okay, the state, an ombudsman, and they're assigned, and they would be over a certain nursing home?
Right, and their goal is to mediate a resolution, you know, to investigate to some extent, to see what was the root cause problem, can it be resolved, is it education, communication, what caused this particular event. Then you can always call the licensing board and request a survey. So that's another option. An ombudsman is a little more, it's a little friendlier way of actually resolving a problem and reaching a solution. A survey is going to come in and say, are they meeting the intent of the regulation or not? You know. Okay. Then, you know, you can always seek an attorney for a lawsuit. Now that's protracted situations. And usually we've moved from trying to mediate a solution into something more adversarial. But so there's this chain of events that you can go through to try to resolve issues, because the bottom line, the most important thing is that person in the bed getting good care?
Right.
And the care that they should be receiving in a dignified manner.
Do sometimes the facilities themselves have perhaps legitimate complaints about the patients in their care?
Sometimes it's the patients, but often it's the family that have unreal. I mean, it could be. I'm not saying every situation, of course, but it could be the family with unrealistic expectations.
Oh, okay. Okay, so I didn't know. So that way an ombudsman can step in and maybe try to clear that up beforehand or whatever.
Yeah.
All right, because I just didn't know. So how often, like what if a facility wants to evict someone?
There are federal rules that say when a facility can evict someone. Not being able to meet their medical or nursing needs, you know, clearly.
What if they're just not following the rules? Now these are people that are mentally kind of loopy anyway. That's why you send someone there, okay?
Well, some are physically frail, some have cognitive health issues, some have both. So being harm to yourself or potentially harmful to others, obviously an opportunity for discharge there, or at least a transfer to another higher level of care, an acute care scenario. There's only 5 or 6 reasons that a person can be evicted. Just being difficult to get along with is not one of them.
All right, so just as we wrap things up, we've just got a few minutes here. Busy? Elder law? You guys keeping busy?
Yes.
How's things going? I mean, I'm just curious, as it is, baby boomers have aged, this niche in the law, which is elder care, is really something that's taken flight, right? I mean,
absolutely, and I think part of the reason, you know, I say never underestimate the power of a law degree, that navigating healthcare is increasingly complex. The healthcare payment system's increasingly more complex. Even Medicare is not just straight up Medicare anymore. You know, I mean, you've got Medicare, Medicare Advantage, you've got bundle payment plans. Knowing how care gets paid for and where it's going to get paid, increasingly difficult. You often need someone to help you navigate the system.
You're not kidding.
And making sure the lawyer role in all of this certainly is advocating for the good care, and it's also making sure that you have the right documents in place that I say becomes the skeleton or the support structure for making sure that your goals are going to be met.
And the key is that's what you guys do. The bottom line is, and you know, it's a situation where I know some of you maybe are on a little bit of a fixed income, but you spend a little bit of money. In the long term, it will save you more money and make whatever money you have, I think, probably go further.
Absolutely.
And put you in a better place. And you know, again, depending on what your situation is, I know you guys charge depending on, you know, what the work is that it will entail. So all of that.
We represent people over time, usually year-to-year contracts, and because when we're taking care of an older person, it's not just placement and then nothing ever changes.
Right.
You know, they change on their continuum of services and their continuum of care. Families are trying to respond and do a good job in taking care of them. So sometimes we are even able to help mediate reasonable expectations and holding folks accountable to provide the care that they say they're going to do, you know?
Gotcha. Barbara, you're awesome.
Thank you.
you so much for coming on. Will we see you again soon?
Yes.
Well, we'll see you on Friday, right? And again,
yes.
you said the program on Friday is going to be on memory loss, dementia, and all the different levels of it, and diagnosis, the treatment, what kind of care is available for all of that. That'll be on Friday, and that'll be you and Tim and your guests.
That's right. That's right. It's a great episode.
Tell Tim he missed a great show today. Thanks to you.
Thanks.
Listen, when we take a break, when we do come back, she'll be on her way out, but we will put up on the screen at the end contact information for their firm in Hendersonville, and you can call them for a free consultation. Appreciate you coming on.
Thanks.
Be right back right after this.